Lego, what are you doing? Why are you putting these guys in the thumbnail, man? Some of them have absolutely no chance of winning the Calder, and yeah, I guess that is kind of true, but like, you know, we're talking about rookies here. I want to talk about first-year players. I want to talk about a week into the NHL. Some players who have made their fan bases a little bit happy, I guess I'll say that, and talk about the Calder, who's got a chance to win it, who's really kind of stirring up the pot here in this conversation. And it's funny because videos like these we can actually make now, you know? Like, we weren't able to make any videos like these in the past calendar year because things like, oh, you know, who's gonna win the Conn Smythe? That's not really a video topic we can make. Things like, oh, who's making the Calder next year? It's not really all that great when we're in the middle of the summer in 2020, still in quarantine, still in lockdowns, trying to predict who's going to win the Calder Trophy a year from now. But now that this season's actually going on, let's talk about the Calder. And we're going to go over just a few names who I think are interesting enough to talk about after we look at the total rookie points list, because if you take a look at it right now, these are the guys on the list. At the time of recording this video, Kirill Kaprizov is leading with 5 points in 4 games played on the season. Now, before we get into anything further, for the most part, when we would make videos about this guy a year ago, I would mostly say his name like Kirill Kaprizov. And I said that mostly because I was thinking of Capri Sun, like, you know, the drink. Whenever I would say his last name, I would say it like that. And people in the comments just went ballistic, saying, oh, why do you say it like that, man? Why do you say his name like Kaprizov? Why do you put the emphasis on the pre? And then I was like, okay, I'll change it. Let's talk about him like Kirill Kaprizov. Instead of saying Kaprizov, we'll say Kaprizov. Emphasis on the K-A-P. But now, if I watch Minnesota Wild games, they're saying Kaprizov on the broadcast. And then just for research purposes, I went over onto KHL highlights and I checked out how they said it there. And it was a combination of the two. They say it like Kaprizov. Like there's a little break there between the P and the Prizov. Because, I don't know, pronunciation is weird. I'm just gonna say Kaprizov, okay? Please, nobody go in the comments saying, oh, why do you say it like that? Because, like, it's so different based off of who you ask. So, yeah, Kirill Kaprizov is a guy who is over here with a whole bunch of points. He has been absolutely on fire for Minnesota. He has been, along with Kevin Fiala, two of the most electrifying players for the Wild this season. Already getting so many assists before he scored his first goal, which, you know, came in overtime. Yeah, he's got a great start off to this season. And I said it a whole bunch before. The Minnesota Wild are in a spot where, with Kaprizov and Marco Rossi, they had themselves 2 guys who I legitimately thought could go out there and win the Calder Trophy. Obviously, Rossi's not a guy who we're talking about here, but he has been in a position where, as a guy who is not really the healthiest at the moment, he still was, in my opinion, somebody who, if he panned out the way that we thought he could, he would go over here as a 19-year-old, totally carry over, but at the moment he is at 0 games played. Kaprizov, though, oh my gosh, this guy has been absolutely electric. He has been one of the best players in the KHL the past few seasons, and for good reason. I mean, he was drafted a long time ago. He's also 23 years old, so he's a lot older than these guys whom we are mostly talking about in the Calder race, but rookie status doesn't care about your age, man. As long as you're below the threshold and you're in your first year, you count as a rookie, you're in contention for the Calder. Let's go. It's why Panarin won over McDavid all those years ago during their Calder race after Panarin was one of the best players in the KHL. He came over, and McDavid, who was 18, ended up losing the Calder to the brand new guy in Russia, who's 24. But a few other names here on the rookie scoring list. You have New Jersey defenseman Ty Smith, 3 points, 3 games played. Always been a big fan of Ty Smith and what he's been doing. Josh Norris is a guy over there in Ottawa, acquired in the Erik Karlsson trade. 3 points, 3 games played. He scored his first goal a few days ago, so that's really awesome to see. Alexander Romanov is here rounding out the top few guys, 4th overall with 2 points in 4 games played. Now, Romanov is the only defenseman you're going to see for a while. And the thing with Romanov is that he doesn't really play a game that, in my opinion, is good enough to get the Calder. Because, let's be honest here, man, the Calder is, for the most part, a points race unless you're a goalie. And that's true for the defensemen, too. Last year, we had the Quinn Hughes-Cale Makar saga, where the guy who had the higher points per game, Cale Makar, ended up winning the Calder mostly because he had the most points. Now, it didn't help that Hughes and Makar were also the top scorers of the entire rookie class, but the point remains. These guys were offensive dynamos who played on the blue line, and as a result, their status towards being one of the Calder winners was very much exemplified there. Romanov does not really play for the points, and he's different in that aspect in that he's already being given such heavy minutes. Like we saw in one of the earlier games, he was already one of the top played defensemen on the entire team, just behind Shea Weber. He's been doing everything out there. He's on the power play, he's on the penalty kill, he's over there in all situations, making some good breakout passes, really getting shots to the goal on a very effective manner, and he's been training for this pretty much for the past few years. He's always been in the KHL. He wasn't really utilized there as a top defenseman, only in certain situations. He was one of the better players at the World Juniors a few years ago, but he's already here in the NHL doing veteran NHL-like things, you know? He's not out here scoring a million points a night like Quinn Hughes and Makar were a year ago. He's just out here being a good defenseman. And you could say there's definitely value there. It's just I don't really know how projectable that is towards winning a Rookie of the Year award amongst a whole bunch of forwards who will probably be somewhere in the 30, 40, 45 point range if you want to talk about who's potentially going to win this thing. So while Romanov, I believe, is a very good NHL caliber defenseman, I don't know if the way he plays is good enough to be considered for the Calder, because I don't really see Romanov being a point-producing machine like some of the other guys on this list will be. Another New Jersey Devil is right next on the list there, Yegor Sharangovich, and that's the way the people on the broadcast say it. I've always said it Igor Sharangovich, so I'm not really too sure, but he's a Belarusian forward who is just so wholesome. If you saw the interview that he did after he scored a goal in overtime, it's just so awesome to watch. He is such a kind dude. We also have on the Florida Panthers, Eetu Luostarinen. He's been a guy who scored his first goal in the choke, you know, where Chicago had the lead and they gave it up late and they lost it overtime. Yeah, Luostarinen scored there. He is also at 2 points in 2 games played. John Leonard is over here for the San Jose Sharks, 2 points in 4 games played. You have a few other guys here at 1 point apiece as well. Stützle, Barrett Hayton, Dylan Cousins, Liam Foudy, Pia Sutar, Gabe Velarde. Jake Evans is over here too, which is so funny to me. It doesn't even really feel like he's a rookie, but he is a rookie, so he's in this conversation. And then at the end of the points race, because he has the most games played out of all the guys who only have 1 point, it is Nils Hoglander. And Hoglander's a guy who, in my opinion, probably won't win the Calder either, mostly because I don't really think he has that same flash, that pizzazz, that overall just ability to dominate games like Elias Pettersson did and Brock Besser when they were scoring points over and over and over and over again in their rookie seasons respectively. Now, Hoglander is a good player, don't get me wrong, he's one of the more efficient players on the team. Very good work ethic, very good wheels, he's got responsible gameplay at both ends of the ice, but at the end of the day, like we mentioned, the Calder is mostly just a race of points. Like, if we're gonna be real here, unless you're a goalie, it's mostly who has the highest points per game, and if you have more games played, that bias is shifted more towards you. Now, I get that anything can happen as the Canucks season goes on, because the Canucks have just recently started scoring goals again, so Hoglander could definitely be a part of that if they start to get things going on the second power play, or if that Bo Horvat line starts heating up again, because that line has been very good. It's just Hoglander only has 1 goal at the moment, and it's his only NHL point. But my point is, once this Canucks team starts going, we'll see a few Hoglander points here and there, but in order to win the Calder, you have to be the guy who completely takes over, you know? Like, Elias Pettersson in his first season was the best player on the team. Like, bar none. When Brock Besser was second place in the Calder voting behind Matthew Barzal, he was up and away the best player on the squad. He was better than the Sedins, better than Bo, etc. Quinn Hughes, when he was contending, while he was not, debatably, I guess, the best player on the team, bar none, he was one of the best consistently, and he was up there in the points. It's just Makar had a higher points per game, and in my opinion, that's a very big portion as to why he ended up winning. Hoglander, to me, has not shown off the qualities yet to be defined as that number 1 best player on the ice at a given night kind of player. Quinn Hughes could take over shifts, take over games last year. Hoglander, I don't know if he's going to do that. If he does do that, then awesome, but I don't really see it happening this season, especially with the other guys on the team taking the load and being in charge of things. Pettersson, Besser, Hughes, Horvat even on this point. Hoglander's also playing on power play too, so I don't really think there's a chance for him to take over things the same way the other guys did. So, spoiler alert, guys who are Canucks fans, I don't really think Hoglander's got it in the bag this year. I don't even really think he has a chance, but, you know, if I do get surprised, that would be awesome. You know, I'm one of the biggest Canucks fans out there, so I would love to see it. It's just trying to be rational while also thinking about other players. yeah, it's not really going to happen in my opinion. Obviously, we have some other guys whom we haven't even mentioned yet. Alexis Lafreniere has yet to get a point. Okay, that's a great player who I think definitely has a chance to win it. It's just he's not up here yet. Igor Shesterkin's a goaltender for the Rangers. Haven't spoken about him either. But I said this entire time, anybody who's asked on the streams, you've heard this answer before, but if I had to bet on who's going to win the Calder, my bet is on Kirill Kaprizov, the guy that we spoke about at the very beginning of this video, just because I really do believe he could become the best player on the Wild this year. Like, he is that good. And sure, we've seen it at a very good capacity thus far, so I guess we're gonna go and make these videos every week, probably, maybe, just to catch up on who's doing well on the rookie list. Like, I think this is a very good idea, right? If you'd like to see this video again next week, talking about who's the leader for the points race and all that stuff, talking about rookies in the Calder 7 days from now, then let me know in the comments. Also, talk to me in the comments about who you think should win the Calder, who has been good thus far, rookies to keep an eye on, etc. I'm open to all the rookie discussion down in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this video. So, Rolls the 99. And bye.